All right, guys, welcome to Faith in Frames. This is a podcast that you guys evidently in a poll wanted to see.
Jury's out.
So definitely going to need you to actually make good on that. Otherwise, all this is going to be for naught. But anyway, Faith in Frames. This is our podcast, and we are Motion Creative. I'm Jared.
I'm Garrett.
And before we get started, I got to tell this story. Garrett and I, through temporary arrangements.
Is it temporary, though?
We were told it was temporary 6.5 months ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are Sunday school teachers at church, right? And so we have the privilege of teaching the 3rd through 6th grade group of kids at our church in the youth, right?
Started off all girls, by the way.
Yeah, we were overran.
Yes.
It was all girls.
Yes.
Now that's actually a pretty even battle as a result of this school year.
Yes.
You know, some kids moved on and some kids moved in, so it worked out.
Thankfully, we had some boys come in.
A few weeks ago, we gave the kids this exercise, right? They had to draw in 5 minutes on a blank sheet of paper. That's all they had was a blank sheet of paper. Draw what their idea of a perfect place was.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And so we had this little girl who, in my opinion, takes the cake. Right? She did the best because
she won. She won the assignment.
She draws, right? She draws this building, and it's obviously a school. And then she puts this big X on it. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, no school.
No school.
Right next to the school building, she puts this building, and it's clearly a corporate office, right? Big X on that. So now we've got no work. So, corporate. I mean, those are great things. No school, no work.
Heaven's starting off looking pretty good.
She then draws a McDonald's establishment. I'm like, okay, where are you going with that? She says, okay, so this place serves free.
Yes.
Biscuits and gravy all day long.
Now we're talking.
Never ends, 24/7, right?
I want my gravy at all times.
So, I mean, this is sounding awesome. And then
pretty good heaven.
She finishes it with, there's this visible like precipitation, right? And she goes, okay, by the way, this rain,
yes,
it's raining money in Jesus.
So
we've got this place in the mind of, I think she might be in 3rd grade.
Yeah, 2nd or 3rd grade.
And so she drew this place where there is no school.
Zero.
There's no work.
Like that.
We've got a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And guess what? 24/7 biscuits and gravy.
I could do it.
Free. Free, by the way. No charge to you.
I think I like that heaven.
And it's raining money in Jesus the whole time.
Pretty good heaven.
Not that we'll need money there when we get there, but I mean, hey, in the mind of a 3rd grader, hey, that's a place I'd like to be.
Yeah, kids, it's funny, their imagination with like drawings and stuff. So obviously my kids, my 6-year-old and I've got a 4-year-old, they're both getting into we'll call it the arts. Their imagination and their depiction of just things, it cracks me up. You know, my son, Cole, he is on this kick now where he wants to draw spider bugs that like shoot lasers, and he'll draw like 50 of them on a page. So it's fun to just watch what they put down on paper. I mean, that's coming straight from the dome. I dig it. So yeah, Luca, her depiction of heaven, that's a heaven I'd like to be in for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good one.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So our job is to take as many people with us.
Absolutely.
That's definitely, that's the one goal, right?
Yep.
We got one job, the one commission.
Yep.
That's all we've got to do. So yeah, it's where do we lose that imagination though? Like, what part of aging makes us lose that?
That's a tough question. I think that depends on a lot of factors for a lot of different people. I think some people lose it, in school, elementary school age, maybe once we start getting into some tougher subjects.
Maybe it's not as encouraged.
Yeah, maybe it's not as encouraged. Definitely in the workplace.
For sure.
That can get dampened quite a bit. I think a lot of people lose their dreams and their imaginations, as cliche as that is to sound or to say.
I don't know, man. I think it's a sad day. We seem to lose that creativity, that imagination as we get older, and I don't know. It's just sad to see.
Daggone adulthood. I'm gonna pick up a sketch pad. Get to doodling. He says. Gonna get to doodling. So before we get too far into today's actual topic, elephant in the room, can we just give a little bit of background as to why Faith in Frames, why we started this podcast. What's the mission of Faith in Frames?
Yeah, so the name's pretty simple, Faith in Frames, right? So in video, you shoot frames. In photo, you shoot frames.
Good observation.
So that one's pretty obvious. Faith is equally as obvious in my book. So like as we mentioned, we teach Sunday school. We are believers. So faith in frames. And so we want, I guess my goal for this piece, this vehicle, so to speak, would be to be able to share elements of our faith,
Right.
to encourage people. But on the business side of things, right? So the frame side of things, I think it's a good opportunity to be able to educate.
Yeah. Educate the public.
Educate the public as to, why video can seem expensive, right? But the other thing too is like we get a lot of feedback. We've had a lot of feedback from people who basically say their most favorite pieces of content from us is behind the scenes stuff, right? The BTS. And I think that goes even further than what we do. I mean, if you just think about it, people love to see behind the scenes stuff.
They want to see the food being made. That's why I watch, Gordon Ramsay's cooking competitions all the time.
Rather than just seeing the finished product, right?
I want to see the process.
You get to see the process. How it's made is a whole series on history, right? So it's the same thing. So it's an opportunity for us to let people in on some of the deeper topics, right? Some of the stuff that maybe can't fit into a BTS video can certainly fit within a podcast, right? So we're going to probably do some breakdowns, plan on having some other industry experts, as well as just people in the community that are well-known.
Yeah, that we love and respect.
And we'll just pick their brains on all kinds of things, right? I also think one of the biggest benefits to working with us based upon the feedback that we've received from clients is that we're so easy to work with and that we are fun to be around. And I take pride in that because if you can be a light in somebody's life, in the simplest of ways, right? If you can just make them chuckle, make them laugh, put a smile on their face, you're a ray of light, right? In this dark and dying world. So I think it's a great way to be able to show some of our personalities, right? In ways that kind of difficult to do in a finished customer piece, right? Yeah. A finished client piece, you don't really see us through it.
You don't see it in the commercial, and even on an Instagram BTS reel, like you can't see that. It's fun because obviously we have the same mentality on a lot of things, but we have vastly different approaches to a lot of things.
Sure.
And we'll get to that, I guess, in future episodes. But yeah, I think just on the business side of things too, because I think you wrapped up the faith thing very nicely. We want to be a light to folks, but on the business side, I think there's a huge gap. There's a gap between, your smaller local level organizations, if you want to consider us an organization, and what folks see maybe in Hollywood. And so they think that this stuff is totally unobtainable. Small businesses may look at a video service and say, well, there's no way that I can do this. So that's where we kind of come in. We're that local entity that is there to be the educator, because we both firmly believe that everybody, small, medium, or large-sized business, needs what we do. And so we just want to make sure that they understand, there are ways to do this. You don't have to be a Hollywood budgeted crew to accomplish your mission.
Sure.
So on the business side of things, certainly want to be the educators and offer some entertainment. Like you say, we want people to understand the cats that they're working with.
Right.
Get
the
it
folks
on the
behind the camera.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's great because, like you said, it can seem unattainable and like out of reach, right? But that's something that we want to bring to the area. Our goal, we are very local focused, right? We're born and raised here in small town Greenville. I've had zero desire to move away.
I did move away and came back.
Came back, right?
Yeah. Came back.
So our passion is we love our area. You can even branch out a little further and make it the Tri-Cities, right?
Yeah. I think that's
geographical region has so much to offer. You go all the way even into Sevierville, right? Pigeon Forge has blown up. Well, that's because of the beauty, right? I mean, and all of the things that you can do here. And so we have such a passion for growing local businesses and helping local businesses sustain, thrive, and grow.
Yeah. Well, and growing the area.
Yeah.
Growing the area that we know and love. So I think that's a great high level 30,000 foot view of our desires, our goals and desires with this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
meat and taters.
Yeah, we'll talk about the meat and taters after this break, but first we got to thank our sponsor.
Sponsors today are Motion Creative Media, aka us. These guys, Jared and Garrett, two thumbs right here. Here at Motion Creative Media, we want to inspire a love for active living with photo and video that moves your business forward. Thank you, Motion Creative Media, for sponsoring today's episode.
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That came straight from this next thing we're going to talk about, the elephant in the room. Jared, we changed
Overnight.
Seemingly overnight. We went through a big change, business-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think the dudes still remained the same. The characters that we have introduced us stayed the same. But as a business, we went through a very, very big change. And it seemed like it was overnight, but it actually happened over the course of, 3 months? 2 months?
Yeah, it was a much more drawn-out process than the public knows about and saw.
Right.
Like I said, overnight, literally, our accounts changed, right? Mm-hmm. The names changed. And so literally one of my brothers said, I saw this post and it said Motion Creative Media.
Who the heck is that?
Yeah, he didn't remember following that account. Well, it's because he didn't, right? You had followed CW Media.
Yeah.
That just changed their name. So
let's let the public know why.
So yeah, the reason why, I don't know how many years in, we decided to change our identifier that we had become known to some people as, right? We changed it. A couple of reasons. One, when we went to look at possibly doing some advertisement for ourselves, right? To reach new clients and to branch out and become more well-known in the area. Before we did that, blessing in hindsight, right? We had a few mentors.
Yes.
Who essentially gave us
the hammer,
right? But they were really nice about it. But I mean, hey, you had to be blunt because, in all honesty, it was terrible, right?
It was bad, and as a business, I don't want things fluffed.
Sure.
And that's why we approached those mentors and had them do an audit, essentially, of our website, of our brand that we had at the time, or what we called a brand. And that was a
big air quotes around brand.
Yeah, big air quotes. That was a sobering process, though, because they essentially came in and said, yo, before you put up the first advertisement, you got to do something with this website. We don't know what you do.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about your company or what you specialize in.
Well, I believe the dialogue went something along the lines of, so what do y'all do? Mm-hmm. And you stated what we did, and the guy point blank stated back to you, he replied, I can tell absolutely none of that from your website.
Yeah, I didn't know. Had no clue.
So we knew that the website wasn't great because we had pretty well neglected it after getting it up and running. After getting it up and running, that was pretty much, we did very little to update it or to keep it current or to show current work or anything. So we knew that it was not great.
And it goes beyond the website. I think directionally, we were directionally challenged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't have one. So had that feedback. It's like, hey, don't spend any money because you're going to be wasting it, essentially. This website is going to convert minimal, if not zero. If not zero clients, right? So knew that, heard that, and so we pivoted and started to look at getting a direction, getting clear lines of sight with our business. And
Enter the brand strategist.
We realized, what is our mission statement? Or we asked ourselves, what is our mission statement? And we're like, we've got nothing. At the end of the day, I want to shoot really good content that inspires people. Cool stuff, right? I mean, that was the cool answer. And unfortunately, that tells a prospective business nothing. So enter brand strategist, Brianna Fillers. By the way, if this is resonating with anybody watching or listening, definitely reach out to Brianna Fillers.
Hit the girl up.
Because this chick is a wizard.
She changed our business.
I don't know if a chick can be a wizard.
It depends. Neither here nor there right now, though.
But anyway, she is fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. So
Brianna, if you're listening, thank you. Thank you again.
I echo that sentiment.
Yes.
I went to school with Brianna. We both have IT backgrounds. We went to ETSU and we were in the same program. Actually, upon graduating from ETSU, we both spent a fair number of years professionally in the IT field.
Right.
I eventually got back into photography, which was what I had always wanted to do. And she ended up realizing that she had a passion for building brands,
right,
and helping businesses get that clear direction
identify
and that definity.
themselves.
Bingo. So we worked with her. We reached out, got a free consult with her. She asked us all kinds of questions, and essentially gave us this prescription. It's like, look, this is what we can do. I have this all laid out. If you want to take this journey with me,
she lays it out so wonderfully.
Yeah, if you want to take this journey with me, we can do this thing.
Buckle up.
Yeah, essentially, right? So I think over the course of 3 or 4 actual in-person meetings and sessions of essentially just her asking questions.
Yeah, it was questions.
Notating all these answers. I believe her laptop at one point was like 20 pages worth of notes.
Yeah, our guide was quite hefty.
And so anyway, through asking us questions, we realized that we don't necessarily have a super specific niche, but we have a broad niche of essentially active lifestyle.
Yeah.
That is what we enjoy shooting. And so beneath that massive umbrella, we have subsets, right? We've got fitness. We obviously
love fitness.
I think that's very important for a number of reasons.
Yes.
We enjoy the construction industry because it is also an active lifestyle, but it's also outdoors, which gets us into the outdoors. It's another thing that we love. Our area is so conducive of outdoor content.
Yeah, and it's big toys inside of big sandboxes.
Oh, yeah.
What little boy doesn't love that?
Throw the heavy machinery in there,
Bingo.
and you've just got
big
Jared and
Tonkas.
Garrett really happy.
Big Tonkas.
So active lifestyle is our big mission. We want to inspire people to be active,
to
through
move.
whatever method that may be for you. So niching down was important, but it's also really scary.
It is tough. Niching's tough.
Why is it scary?
I think especially as creatives. As a creative person, we have common interest because we both enjoy the active living stuff. We enjoy outdoors. We enjoy construction. We enjoy shooting fitness. But individually, Jared and Garrett, we have different interests. Speaking strictly on the media, on photography and videography, I know for me specifically, one of my loves is automotive photography.
Right.
I love cars. Love shooting cars. Love viewing other people who shoot cars. You also have an interest in like documentary photography, which I enjoy. But in any given day, if those two opportunities are in front of me, I'm going to go shoot cars.
Sure.
However, as a business, for the better of the brand, niching down, it helps us become experts. You can never be experts if you're shooting or trying to do every single job that comes your way.
Certainly can't be perceived from the outside looking in as that. And that's
can't
the
be
important
perceived
part.
Right. You can't be perceived as experts. And I think you gave a very good example, and through conversation, you think of a plumber. You don't call a plumber to come fix your roof.
Nope.
You don't call a plumber to come wire up a new outlet.
Now, could that plumber do those things?
Possibly.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure she has the skill.
Yeah, probably a handyman or a handywoman of sorts. But you do not call the plumber for all those other things.
You're looking for a specialist.
You want a specialist, somebody specialized. And that's the difficulty of niching. But when you look at it for what it is, it affords you the opportunity to truly become the expert in any field.
Which I think gives, if you're a business looking for any sort of content, whether that's for your website, whether that's for your social media, maybe you want consistent content. But if you're looking for someone to create this content for you, I think it gives you peace of mind.
Yeah.
If you stumble upon Motion Creative Media and you are a tourism board.
Yeah.
Because you've seen, oh, no, these guys do this.
Yeah, they're outdoors.
You're not seeing, I don't know, wedding films, right? You're not seeing wedding content, and
You're not seeing newborn sessions.
you're not seeing newborn sessions. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And
We just don't do it.
We've done that. But what we've learned is that we need to be more specific so
Right.
that people can have that peace of mind.
Right.
It gives you that confidence to make that decision and know that, yeah, I'm putting my faith in the right guys there.
Well, and I think too, and Brianna was very instrumental in this idea and this thought process. But I think it gives us the opportunity also, whenever we have an inquiry come our way that we know we don't specialize in, that gives us the perfect chance to punt them to the professional.
Which also in our industry, especially early on, can be, I think, counterintuitive, right?
be
You
tough.
don't think, like, I don't know, a lot of people have this gatekeeping concept.
Right.
You think like, oh gosh, if I send this person away,
That's less money for me.
less money for me. Because like I said, you're trying to build a business. You're just,
Yeah.
you think, oh, well, there's only so many fish. I need to have them, right?
Right.
If they came to me, then I've got to figure out a way to get it done.
Right.
But you may not be the right person for that
No.
business or that
I am
that
not
person.
your newborn photographer. I can promise you that.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. We know people who are,
Right. And they're great at it.
and I have no now, after getting to this point, it
After
didn't happen for me
discovering-
overnight.
Yeah, you have to discover.
I now have no problem whatsoever referring people to
Yeah.
people who would be better suited for that.
Yeah, we had to shoot a few babies with cameras, of course.
Right.
To discover and learn that we are not newborn photographers.
Yeah. Well, so we used to shoot anything and everything.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people do that starting out in our industry.
You have to. You have to learn what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, or what you're even good at too.
Right.
I mean, so
True.
so both of those things really kind of niche yourself down without you even realizing it. It
Yeah.
took
It gets you in the ballpark.
it gets you in the ballpark, and it took a mind like Brianna's, someone who specializes in this, to really help hone us in. And so now we have a pretty good website.
Yeah.
We have a clear direction. We have a mission statement. We have values, right? All of these things we did have.
We
They
just couldn't put
existed.
it down.
Yeah, we just didn't have it formulated into something that somebody could actually discover and read. And so that was very, very important for us. And so the name Motion Creative, as opposed to CW was simply an initial or two initials.
They may have not known that either. People may have not known that. That was
it's
Collins and Ware.
Collins and Ware. So
Genius.
we
Genius.
needed a name, and we dug really, really deep, put a lot of thought and effort into it,
Puddle deep.
and ended up with CW Media. Issue with that, number of issues with that. Issue with that is initials are not very memorable.
No.
In
Everybody has them.
conversation, I tell you, hey, I'm Jared with CW Media. If you don't have my card or you don't have any way of writing that down, an hour and a half later when you get home and you actually go to look us up, you may not even remember our name.
Or you're going to find the TV station.
Also true. That was just an unfortunate turn of events.
Yes.
Do have the CW. Also, that name, no one can read that, see that, or hear that and get even at least an inkling as to what we do outside of media.
It means
CW
nothing.
means nothing.
It means nothing.
And so now we have Motion Creative Media, which means a plethora of things, right?
Correct.
You've got motion pictures. It's an obvious, right? You've got, that's what a video is, right? That's what
Right.
movies are. You've got motion, just the word motion. You've got active,
Right.
movement,
Movement. Yes.
which speaks to what we like to do. We like to encourage an active lifestyle.
Yes. We like to move.
Bingo. And then the creative side, that also means a plethora of things. You've got, we are creatives.
Right.
Right. We have creative desires and powers. But on a deeper level, the reason why we think we have that creative desire
Design.
is because there's a creator,
Right.
and we were made in his image.
Right. We were designed.
And we were exactly. So it means a multitude of things, Motion Creative Media. You can see that and know at least a pretty good high level explanation of what we do,
Right.
which is very important. So it's
Yeah.
recognizable, it's memorable, and we can read it, and we often say we're motion creative.
Yeah.
So you truncate it, right? You don't even have to throw media
Good
in
little,
there.
good little short statement.
And
there.
conversation that flows.
Yep.
And it's memorable. So, yeah. For all of you listening or watching that ran into the same situation as my brother Trey and thought, I did not.
That still gets me. Your own brother.
I didn't follow this account. Who is this? It's the same dudes.
Et tu, Brute?
There you go. A little bit of Shakespeare. Shout out Miss Gaby. That's the only reason why I remember that.
Yeah, Miss Gaby.
Miss Jennifer Gaby, sophomore English, Chuggy High School.
That may also be a future episode topic.
Oof, Shakespeare.
Well, Shakespeare from Miss Gaby. She was a probably one of my favorite teachers, even although be it one of my most challenging teachers.
Oh yeah, I certainly had my challenges as well. Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be fun.
I'd have to brush up on my Shakespeare because I probably not cracked open.
She'd destroy us right now in a Shakespearean conversation.
Since sophomore year in high school, but
she would destroy us in a Shakespearean conversation. But yeah, that was really the motion behind the madness.
Yeah.
Of the name change and the rebrand. So once again, shout out Brianna. Thank you, guys. If you need a rebrand or if you are a new brand, looking for direction, looking for something that's instantly recognizable, just looking to discover who you are as a business. Brianna Fillers, phenomenal.
Full transparency, if you've been in business for decades.
30 years.
And you don't feel as though your name, your company, your brand is recognizable,
hit up Brianna.
She can help you with that.
Yeah, that's big claps, big applause for Brianna there.
Let's do golf claps.
Yeah, little claps, but good claps.
Cannot speak highly enough of her. So yeah. Definitely reach out to her. I think it's briannafillers.com.
Yes. Yeah, very, very easy. Very, very recognizable on her sense. So, Jared, really quick, too, before we kind of wrap up episode 1, what do we have to come for our viewers, listeners, basically whatever platform you're consuming this podcast on? What do we have coming up in the future?
Well, so we kind of touched on it. We plan to have other experts in the industry, but also outside of just industry experts.
Yeah.
I would love to branch out and just get local business owners, local figures that people know, recognize, and respect. Do what now?
Some life experts.
Life experts.
Yeah.
And literally just, we want to be a source of light, be a source of entertainment, but also a source of information and education. So yeah, we're going to have some guests on. Again, this is all A, happening, but B, possible because people said,
they did say
through this poll, it was very, very skewed, right? In one direction, because this poll that we put out and people said they wanted to see and hear a podcast. So what we need from you guys,
put those words into motion.
There you go.
How about that?
Because otherwise, if y'all don't do what you said, it's not going to be as effective.
Just two talking heads at that point, Tom.
Just two idiots talking with their dad bod mugs.
Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored by dad bod mugs.
That'd be a cool sponsor.
Not as cool as Manscaped.
You are hung up on the Manscaped.
Yeah. That's another one of my ulterior goals is Manscaped.
Yeah.
They're going to be here one day.
I mean, they are a very common podcast sponsor, so
they're going to be here one day.
Or at least now diving into that space, and it's potential.
Today, Wednesday, September 27th, is day 1 of my petition to Manscaped. Day 1.
Well, I hate goodbyes.
I do too.
We are Southerners.
We are.
We're
almost as bad at it as the Midwestern folks are.
The goodbye is actually probably a 45-minute process generally.
Bingo. Somebody has to eventually do the knee slap and stand up.
Yep. Well,
time to go.
That's all we got. Tune in next week.
Y'all have a good one.
To Faith in Frames. See you later.
We're out of here.